Hi everyone, this is the first video of my new series, LOTRO Basics. In this video, I will be going over your character stats. First, you have your basic stats, offensive stats, and defensive stats. Your basic stats are morale, power, and armor. Morale is how much health you have. When you run out, you die. Power is what skill is required to be used. Armor reduces the damage you take. And then you have your 5 base stats. There's might, agility, vitality, will, and fate. Your base stats will all affect your damage and defenses. For your offensive stats, you have critical rating, finesse, physical mastery, and tactical mastery. So you have physical mastery and tactical mastery. Depending on your class, those will increase your damage. Your main stat for your class will either increase your physical mastery or tactical mastery. For example, as a warden, my main stat agility will increase my physical mastery, which will increase my damage of my attacks, which are physical attacks. If I were a runekeeper, will would affect my tactical mastery, which will increase my damage. So, depending on your class, your main stat will increase your damage. Now, your other offensive stats would start with critical rating. This increases your critical hit chance and damage, as well as your devastating hit chance and damage. Devastating hits are just a stronger version of critical hits. Finesse reduces your opponent's resistance, block, parry, and evade rating. Your base stats also affect your defenses. Vitality is a main stat for all classes that increases your maximum morale and some other defenses. For your defenses, you have resistance, which gives you a chance to avoid all effects. Critical defense, which decreases the damage you take from critical and devastating hits. You have incoming heal rating, which increases the morale healed when you are healed. You have your 3 avoidances, block, parry, and evade. You can partially block, parry, and evade, and completely evade. For mitigations, you have melee, ranged, and tactical damage sources. And then the main one is damage type, physical, and tactical. Those decrease the damage you take from those sources or types. Armor is another thing that increases your defenses. All of your armor is added to your common mitigation, which is this one right here, physical mitigation. And then 20% of your armor is non-common, which would be tactical mitigations. For things that affect your stats, you have your gear, which all pieces of gear can affect any stat. For example, the Shield of the Hammerhand, it has a main stat, which is agility for my warden, vitality, which is useful for all classes, armor, and then physical mastery, which increases the damage, critical rating, and armor value even more. There are some other things that might affect your stats. You also have your virtue traits, which affect different stats and give you different bonuses. Those can be good for offense, defense, base stats, and pretty much everything. Some racial traits can also increase your stats. And the last thing for traits that can increase your stats are some of your class traits. Depending on what line you spec in, some may increase your offensive or defenses or even base stats. You can have some consumable items that may temporarily increase certain stats. You also have foods. Trail foods are the type that increase your stats. You can only have one at a time. I think that's about it for your character stats. If you have any requests on what you want to be done next, you can comment on this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something useful.